The TRE Book Show is sponsored by Audible. Click on the Audible banner on the talkradioeurope.com homepage to download your free audiobook today. Terms and conditions apply.
The Book Programme. Presented by Hannah Murray.
Joining us on the line now from the UK is Sue Knight. She is already an accomplished poet and dystopian short fiction writer, but she's with us on the book show to talk about her first full-length novel. It's called Waiting for Gordo. It's billed as an eco-thriller and is set in the Maldives. The book explores eco-destruction, responsibility and the darkness that so often underlies the beauties of nature. Welcome to the book show, Sue.
Hello, and thank you for having me.
Pleasure. Thank you very much for joining us. Initially, I thought, set in the Maldives, how lovely, but it's not all lovely, is it?
Well, no. I hope, though, it's both interesting and funny. I've tried to make it a page-turner, but yes, it's about a dive holiday that goes horribly wrong on a beautiful paradise island.
How many times have you been to the Maldives?
You know, I was trying to count up and I can't. We were expatriates for 25 years. We worked in the Middle East. And my husband is a scuba diver. And for many years, he took a party of divers to the Maldive Islands every year. And usually I used to go with them. No, I'm not a diver myself. So I've been many times, but I've actually lost count.
Oh, how lovely.
So beautiful. Yeah, I know. It was a wonderful life, actually. The beauty of the islands really inspired me. They are sort of the perfect paradise tropical island.
I was going to say, how would you describe them? Because looking at photos on the internet, it really does look like a paradise, as you say.
Well, they are. I mean, it's very, very hot because you're sort of sitting on the equator there, more or less. When you fly over them, you see them in the ocean. They're atolls and lagoons. They're like little jewels in the ocean, a turquoise ocean. The islands don't have any cars on them, so there's no traffic noise. The nights are beautifully quiet with very bright stars. You just hear the waves beating at the island's edge. They are lovely, but of course, nothing is paradise at the moment, so they aren't paradise any more than anywhere else is, which does come out in the book.
Yes, where did this negative side come from then about the Maldives? What did you discover?
Well, it's nothing about the Maldives, but really what I was thinking about is the way, the kind of, I suppose, the tensions of tourism. You know, we find a beauty spot, beautiful unspoilt spot, then we all pile in, and do we spoil it by piling in like that? But on the other hand, we're also needed. They have a very important tourist industry there. It is their main industry, I believe. So it's not really about the Maldives as such. Oh, and it's also about the way that nowhere actually is paradise at the moment. There's always tensions wherever you are.
So what do you mean about the eco side of things, the eco-destruction?
Well, just the weight that's put on the island by what we expect as tourists. I mean, when my husband first went there, the accommodation, many years ago, the accommodation was pretty basic. The food was pretty basic too. It was fish from the ocean, rice, coconuts. But now, as tourists, you know, we expect a sort of a full buffet. I do dwell on that quite a bit in the book. You know, we expect kind of everything, and we expect a high standard of accommodation. And I understand, I'm not an eco-specialist, but I understand it puts quite a lot of pressure on the fragile structure of the islands. There was an interesting article on the news today about how the tides are having to close one of the popular paradise beaches. I think the one that's featured in that movie, The Beach, because the weight of tourism is just wrecking the ecology there.
Gosh, how awful. That's terrible.
Yes, it's very difficult. Nobody seems to have the answer to it. I think they cope as well in the Maldives as anywhere else. I mean, the water is beautifully clean. The fish and the corals are wonderful. Although we did live through a bit of an eco-tragedy there. It was the year of El Nino, 1997, when the temperatures of the water rose so high just for a day or two that it killed off the coral.
Oh, really? What, all of it?
Yes, when we went there, the reefs were bleached. It was extraordinary. Of course, they're recovering in a slightly different way, but that was nothing to do with tourists or tourism. It was the forces of nature, you know.
Gosh, I remember when I was in Australia many years ago and did a bit of diving in the Great Barrier Reef, and everybody was told to be so careful, you know, not to touch it and not to break it, and, you know, be really careful of the coral.
Yes, that is the rule for divers. You don't want to go touching the coral. You don't want to go damaging it. And the other thing is, if you put your hands on the coral, you can never be sure what you're putting your hand on.
Yeah, it can cut you as well, can't it? It can be very sharp.
Or it can give you a very nasty bite.
Yes, it's deceiving, beautifully deceiving.
That's right. That's what I mean by, in a way, it's not paradise at the moment. It looks so beautiful, but you've got to be careful.
Yes. So tell me about some of the characters in the book.
Well, I'm in it really as Miranda. She is me. I put my husband in. I don't think he can see me. I see him, her husband. But I have had to be very careful not to base any of the characters on anybody else, because my original thought was they were all going to be murdered one by one in some mysterious way.
Gosh.
but in the end, I couldn't do that. They all started to disappear one by one.
Okay. And this is this all set on the same trip? How long does the story last? Does it go over?
It's just a week. And it's a party of expat divers, Brits and Americans. They're going off for their annual dive holiday, as they always do. But this one, it just goes wrong.
So you'll say that Miranda's based on you and Jim's based on your husband. Are you talking about things that actually happened, or is it more personalities based on you?
More the personality. So I say Jim is based on my husband because I once caught him reading a book on our flight. We used to fly over very cheap airlines that were quite rickety, and I caught him reading a book called Great Airline Disasters of the World, just as we flew across. So I've put that aspect of his character into the book and his love of diving. That's all in.
I can't believe you'd read a book about plane disasters whilst being on a plane.
I know.
My goodness.
Did, yeah.
So he's obviously fearless, your husband, then.
He's not a worrier, whereas I am. So I have that as the character in the book, that one of us is a worrier, one isn't.
Yeah.
But it's not, I wouldn't say, it's not all that character-based. So I hope you get to know the characters, you know, enough to worry about them. Or wonder about what's happened to them or what's happening to them.
Yeah. So people should like Miranda and Jim.
I hope so, yes. Yes, I hope so, yeah.
Otherwise you can take it personally if they don't.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
So how long have you been working on the book for?
Oh, many years. I started it in my expat life, and we've now been retired for 10 years. But it took me a long time. I mean, I finished it quite a while ago. It took me a long time to find a publisher. It's not easy now if you don't have connections in the industry, I don't think.
No, it can be very difficult. So did you get an agent first, or?
No, what I did is I sent off a short story to Fantastic Books. They were publishing an anthology, and those anthologies usually have a long short story in them. And I had one that I'd written about the last shopper left alive, because I was a bit worried about the way we seem to be covering the earth with shopping malls, and I thought we might run out of shoppers. And I wrote a story about it years ago, and I thought, you know, this is more topical than it was when I wrote it, so I think I'll send it off. And he didn't put it in the anthology, but to my surprise, he published it as a separate story, a separate little entity. So that gave me the confidence to send off the novel, and yes, he took it and he published it.
Oh, fantastic. Well done, you. And how did it compare writing a full-length novel to writing the short stories?
They both took me a long time. I'm a very slow writer in that I keep revising, and I never know where I'm going when I start. And the problem with that is that when you realise halfway through what's happening, you have to go back and revise in line with that because it doesn't always fit.
So you can change direction quite a lot.
Yeah, well, it's more that, for instance, when I started writing Waiting for Gordo, I didn't know why they were disappearing, who the villain was. I didn't know till halfway through. So then I had to kind of make sure that what I now knew was in line with what happened in the first half of the book, if you see what I mean.
Right, yeah. So that's why editing is so important.
It is. I think edit, rewrite, and usually cut, and cut again is a good rule.
Yeah. So do you think there could be more books from you? Could there be more on these characters, do you think?
Well, people have asked me if there could be more on the characters in Waiting for Gordo. People have read it. I hadn't thought so, but you never know. But I am working on another book I started in my expat life, which is about the two homes of my childhood, my parents' home and my granny's home. But it's written as a thriller. And I've borrowed the plot of Rebecca, which is the second wife haunted by thoughts of the first wife who's died.
Okay.
I have a Mrs. Danvers figure in it, but it's not Rebecca. It goes somewhere else. But so that's nearly finished now.
And are you enjoying that one as much?
Oh, I am. I'd love to get it finished. But once again, I've got the same problem, only worse, because it's more of a it's not exactly a detective thriller, but more of a murder mystery in a way. I didn't know who the murderer was once again till halfway through. And I've given myself some difficult time jumps and some difficulties, so I'm just trying to iron them out.
Yes. Oh, great. Well, can you just explain before we say goodbye what Waiting for Gordo means? Who or what is Gordo?
Oh, right. Well, Gordo is a diver that they're waiting for, who never arrives at the island, or does he? Now, the book was originally called Small Island, but by the time I came to get a publisher, I think it was Andrew Levy had a brilliant success with a book called Small Island. So I thought I wouldn't use that title. And I remembered when I was young, in my uni days, the play Waiting for Godot was very popular.
Absolutely.
So I thought I'll do a little take on that, as I have this diver called Gordo who they're waiting for.
Oh, very clever. No, I like it. Well, if people want to get a copy of Waiting for Gordo, it's out now and available to buy in the TRE bookshop section on our website. And it's by Sue Knight, who we've been chatting to. Sue, thank you very much for joining us and best of luck with the book.
Thank you so much, Hannah. I do appreciate it.
The Book Programme. Presented by Hannah Murray.
Talk Radio Europe.